大家好，我是主持人佳楠，欢迎您收看评论中西。奥克兰市长大选硝烟正浓，上届曾参加过选举的 John Palino 先生卷土重来。这位在餐饮行业驰骋多年的业界精英将有怎样的选举的理念呢？今天很荣幸，我们就邀请到了 Mr. John Palino 先生。We understand you have been in business and the hospitality industry for almost 40 years.
Yes, I started out when I was 13 working for my dad, and I've been in the restaurant business and also doing events and things like that for the past 40 years, yes.
That's super cool. And what actually motivates you the most to actually step up for running mayors and pursuing a political career?
Well, I ran last time in the last election, which I came second. We did very well. And I'm very passionate about Auckland. I chose Auckland. I've been here 21 years, almost 22 years. And I chose Auckland. I chose to live here. I could have lived anywhere in the world. But over the past 10 years, I've been seeing Auckland deteriorate. And I've been watching its growth. And, we have amazing opportunities, absolutely amazing opportunities in New Zealand with this population growth. And we're not taking advantage of it. And I'm very lucky because I had lived in New Jersey, New York, and Los Angeles. So I've seen the worst of congestion in Los Angeles. And I've seen actually how transport moves in New York and how healthy that makes a city. And I see that we're going in the wrong direction, and I want to fix it, and I want to be part of helping it. And the people need help here. I think that generally the politicians, they don't understand it. And we need to do something about it, and I'm doing something about it.
What do you think of unitary plan?
Well, the unitary plan needs to be completely rewritten. I said this, 3 years ago, that it's atrocious. Look, local council have blinders on. They never had the opportunity to live overseas. I lived overseas. I lived in New York, Connecticut. I lived in New Jersey and Los Angeles. So I'm able to see what works and what doesn't work. They never had that opportunity, So they have these blinders on, and they think that Auckland is a super city. Well, we have to stop calling Auckland a super city. We really should be calling Auckland a province, a region, or a state. And once you start doing that, you will actually think about your growth differently. So if you say city, the experts will say intensify. If you say a province or a state, they'll say intensify the CBD areas, not the farms and the suburbs, because you can't get people out of there. They can't get to work. And in the past 5 years, it has not worked. It's done with. We've had enough. It doesn't work. We have to change it.
That's cool. And you have written all this in your book?
Yeah. I wrote this all, and I wrote 16 topics here. It talks about all the ways that we can fix all these different 16 topics. It's very pragmatic ideas about how we grow Auckland. It's being done in the rest of the world. In Brisbane, they have an area which they call Springfield. That's a satellite city. It's brilliant. It's going to fit 200,000 people with a new hospital, a university, and everything. You go to Melbourne, and they're redoing Geelong. You go around the world, and they're doing that. You go to even Beijing, and they've taken an old city, they're rebuilding it, but between the cities is farmland. You don't build in between.
And you've been criticizing the current Auckland Council has failed to taking actions to control rates, spendings, and etc.
Yeah.
So what action do you think that Auckland, as a multicultural city, should take to improve the living quality?
Well, one of the very first things, we have a population of around 500,000 ethnic people in Auckland, right? Yet Auckland spends less than 1% of all their advertising and marketing in any of the ethnic newspapers. That's a problem. So you have a lot of people who actually don't even speak English yet, like Chinese. There's quite a few older generation of Chinese living here who don't speak English. But the council is not getting the communication out to them. Those people own houses. They need to know if there's something happening in their community or something they have to watch out for. That's 1/3 of the population. So council has to start by actually marketing and advertising and putting that information out there into the ethnic word, into their language. It's very important to do that.
Yeah.
That's the first thing we have to start. Secondly, is that, like I said before, this population growth is an amazing opportunity. It's an amazing opportunity if we grow right, and if we do what I'm talking about, which both Labor and the National Party have pretty much backed my policies. They want to open up the metropolitan urban boundary. It's been my policy for 3 years that we open up those areas. So we already know that central government's willing to work with me.
Yes.
Because I have the ideas and the plans. They're actually now looking at passing law to make council do that because council does not want to do it. But this is something that I've been talking about for 3 years in my last campaign and this campaign. And we already know, no matter who's in government, Labor or National, they both back my policies. They both want to do exactly what I want to do.
感谢John Palino 先生的分享，我们也会继续关注奥克兰市长选举的战况。我们也希望我们生活的奥克兰城市能有更好的未来。感谢您的收看，我们下期节目再见。